Hi, my name is Lily-Mae Evans. I'm 14 years old and I've been in Matilda and Annie.
Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. So they say the subsequent fall was inevitable.
I actually went to go and see Matilda when I was like 5 or 6, and I knew that was what I wanted to do when I saw them all performing on stage. And then I told my parents and they got me into acting classes, dance classes, singing classes, and then it just went from there really. I just loved it all from then. I went to dance classes from when I was as soon as I could walk really. It was when I was 2, I went to a baby ballet class, and then I got into more acting and singing when I was 5 or 6, after I saw Matilda. It was Annie when I was 7 and I played Molly. It was really good. It's definitely what confirmed that I wanted to do that as a career, because I just loved it all. I was the youngest in the cast, but I loved it and it was just amazing. It was the most incredible thing. It was very overwhelming and I just couldn't believe what I was being told, because my mum got a phone call and then I could hear her talking on the phone, and I knew that we were supposed to be getting a call about the audition soon, so I kind of had an instinct that that was what it was going to be about. And then she just ran into the room and was like, "You got the part," and then we both just started crying, and then we told my dad and my brother, and it was all just really amazing.
I cried because I was so excited and happy.
We told my close family and friends as soon as we found out, because obviously they were really excited to find out as well. And then we were able to tell, obviously we had to tell my school because I wasn't going to be there because I was rehearsing, but then we told everyone a few weeks before I went on, because that was when we were really allowed to tell everyone. Most of my family and friends came and saw me and were really supportive, and then I had David Beckham and his family watch the show, which was incredible, and then I had Josh Gad and just a few other famous people, which is amazing to think that they watched me, because they're celebrities. You'd think that I would be the one watching them.
If you always take it on the chin and wear it, nothing will change. Even if you're little, you can do one.
I remember when David Beckham and his family watched, I found out mid-show, and after then I was oh my gosh, and I was I need to make sure I'm doing all the best stuff so that they think I'm a really good performer. So yeah. It was just incredible. It felt so surreal to think that I was sat in the audience just a few years ago, and then now I'm here doing it myself, and it was just amazing, and it just did not feel real at all. It was definitely difficult because I was so young, and I had to live away from my parents. But I think it really made the experience for me, because it just meant that I was living with the people I was performing with, and we just had such a good time, and it was always really fun. And they always made it feel you don't need to miss your family because you've got us, so it was really nice. A little bit, especially the day that my parents would drop me off. It would be quite difficult because it's I know that they're at home, but I think it was all worth it, and I knew that that was what I had to do to be able to be in the West End, so it was definitely all worth it. It was definitely quite busy, especially in rehearsals. You'd start either really early in the morning and then finish at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or you'd start around lunchtime and finish at 8 o'clock in the evening, so that was definitely hard work. And then in shows it was more relaxed again, because you'd just go in a couple of hours before the show started, and then you'd just go home straight after. It was always really fun. that was like a good thing about it. But you'd go and then you'd have like, the day would be split into 3 usually. So you'd have like part of the day would be for acting, part of the day would be for singing, and then part of the day would be for dancing. And then as we got closer to going on stage, we all kind of put those all together, and like you just do like a run of these 5 scenes and then a run of these scenes afterwards. So yeah. Yeah, I think when I first got the script, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to learn all of this, because it's such a big script and there's just so much to learn. But I think it just, I don't know, it just kind of stuck once you run it over and over again. And like, I'd look at it before I went to sleep, like in the evenings, so it would like stick for the next day. And like, they were really helpful with learning it. So they'd be like, you learn this bit for tomorrow and then you'd learn this bit for next week. So they definitely helped out a lot to learn it quicker. I'd say what I usually do is I just go line by line and like read over it a few times, like out loud, and then like cover it up and try and do it and then go back. So it does take a bit longer than just trying to learn a big chunk, but for me it works more effectively when I do it in little bits. Oh, I don't know if I remember any of it. It was so long ago now. I think I could probably remember some of it if I looked over the script a few times, but I don't know if I remember any of it off by heart. I think my first one and my last one were definitely the most memorable, just because the atmosphere was incredible, and I knew that, like especially the last one, I knew that that was going to be the last time I did all of those scenes and the dances, and I really had to like make the most of it, so yeah. I forgot my lines a few times, which obviously was quite embarrassing because I'd just like stand there for like, I've got no idea what I need to say next, but I'd always be able to like pick it up a few lines later or maybe skip a bit of the scene, but I always found a way to pick it back up. And I think that was it really. I don't think I had many really embarrassing moments, but forgetting my lines was quite a big one for me. Well, you were always in standby with another Bruce who you were like partnered with, and then a chaperone, and there was a TV in there, so we'd be able to like watch TV, watch movies, and like we played board games. There was a Wii as well, so like we used to play on the Wii, and like we did drawing, colouring, there was loads of stuff to do, so it was actually really fun to be in there. And we used to invite like the swings, the adult swings, into the room to like play some board games with us, because they were obviously on standby as well, and we'd all just like play board games together, and that was quite fun. I think it was a couple of hours before, because we used to do a big group warm-up.
Vocal warm-up. I like to scoff, 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 yummy tie takeaway. I like to scoff, 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 yummy tie takeaway. I like to scoff, 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 yummy tie takeaway. I like to scoff, 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 scoff it all day long.
And then on a Tuesday or a Thursday, we'd do like a rehearsal kind of thing, where you'd have to rehearse things that like the creative team thought needed to be rehearsed before the show.
Well, we warm up, and then we go up into our dressing rooms and like get into costume and do our hair and get our mics done, and then we get backstage and ready to start the show.
Well, I have an agent, so I get most of my auditions through them now, but we just got an email about this role, and then we had to film a self-tape for it. It happened just before the first lockdown, because we were supposed to start filming in like March, but we did a self-tape, and then I remember we were in London because I'd just been for another audition, and then my mum got a phone call saying that I'd got the part from the self-tape, so that was quite cool because you usually have to do multiple auditions, but I got it after the self-tape, so that was really good. It was supposed to start filming, I think, a week after lockdown hit. We couldn't, obviously, because of coronavirus, so we then brought it back in September, I think. So I'm surprised. I was really happy that they like kept my role, because I thought that we were just going to scrap it because we had to like take time off, but they still picked it up, which was good. I think it was definitely different to what it obviously would usually be like, and it was my first TV role, so I just thought this is what it's usually like, but then everybody was like, oh no, it's usually much like quicker than this, and you can usually get closer to the cast, because like we always had to be 2 meters apart from everyone, so it took a lot longer because we had to do different angles so that it looked like we were closer to people, and like you were only allowed 1 crew in there, whereas usually you can have like multiple cameras filming at the same time, and we were only allowed 1, so it took a lot longer, but it was still good, and it was interesting to like see what it would be like during COVID. Both of my parents were at some point actually, because like they couldn't do shots with, so like in one of my scenes I had to hug a character, but they couldn't do that because of coronavirus, because we always had to stay 2 meters apart. So for one of the scenes my mum had to like put a wig on and put like the character's outfit on and then hug me so that it looked like it was the actual character hugging me. My mum was never like you. You're a better mum than she ever was.
Well, we will be thinking of you, you know that, don't you? Come here, you.
Could you give a message to Tom from me? And then my dad had to dress up in a police outfit and like put his hand on my shoulder so that it looked like another character was doing that. And then, so yeah, it was quite weird for them and for me. But I guess that's just what we had to do.
Okay? I won't be far away.
Okay. It's kind of a mix. Like the police station ones were in a studio, and they were just like all separate rooms, like sets that were built. But then like in the house, all the scenes in the house was a real house. So yeah, it's kind of a mix. It was interesting to like see the different sets that were built, because there was a hospital room there and then a police station there, so it was definitely interesting. It was really weird. Yeah, it was weird because I'd never really seen myself on TV before. And it was also quite interesting to like see how it looked different to what it looked like in real life, because some of the shots were like edited so that I was looking this way at one point, but when we actually filmed it I wasn't looking that way. So it was quite interesting to see how they'd like edited it and stuff. I'd love to be in like an original, like a new one. I think that would be quite fun, because obviously there's nobody else that's ever done that before. But I'd definitely love to be in like Casualty or Holby City or something like that, because it seems really exciting to be in that environment as well. Ooh, that's a difficult one. Once again, I think I'd like to be in like an original show, just to give me like a new character to work with. I think that would be quite interesting. From what I've done, I prefer stage still, just because I've done more of it, I've had more experiences of it. But I definitely want to do more TV, because it was still a fun experience, but I just have more experience from doing theatre. So I ran to the soundtracks of 10 different musicals over 20 days, and then in like every other day I'd record a video of me singing a song from each musical and then post it on my Instagram. And yeah, I ran like, I think it was 2 marathons altogether, and that was pretty much over 10 days, but with a day off in between. Definitely, because I do run like all the time anyway, but I'd never really run those distances or those like time spans before, so it was definitely hard, but I always had like my mum or my dad there to support me and like help me along, so yeah, that was good. Well, I knew a lot of people who were affected by COVID and how they'd lost their jobs because of it, like performers and people that I've worked with in the past. And I just wanted to do something to like kind of help people like that out. So I found like some charities that helped actors and performers who had lost their jobs. And I just kind of thought, well, I love musicals and I love running, so I'll put them together. It was Hairspray and it was like 2 hours 15, I think. That one was definitely the most difficult, yeah. Yeah, I definitely want to do something similar this year. I haven't thought of what yet. I'm trying to think of something that's similar to that, but obviously something different. But yeah, I definitely want to do something else this year. I've had all of my dance classes and acting classes and singing classes all online, so that's been really good because I can still keep up with training and stuff. I've also done quite a few workshops online, like I did one not that long ago with Leighton Williams, so that one was really good. It's definitely more difficult than it is in person because there's like when you're singing there's like a lag online where it's like a delay, so you're not in time with the music, and you can't really sing in a big group because everybody's got different Wi-Fi connections, so it's all out of time. But we've been trying our best, and it's definitely going to be good to get back in person again. Yeah, sometimes they'll walk in and I'll be like, I'm on an online class, but it's just what happens when you're at home. Yeah, he's barked a few times when I've been in a class, which is a bit annoying, and he's just walked in at random times, but yeah. It was really fun to like know that people from all around the world could watch it, because if we did it in person most people would have to just be from the area or from England or from the UK, so it was really good to like, and especially like perform with other people from around the world as well, so that was really exciting.
As they turn your dreams to shame,
and then co-hosting it was really fun as well because it like gave me a new view of how the concerts work and getting to watch other people perform, which was really good. Oh, I'm not sure. I really liked the Matilda medley that we did for the concert. That one was really good because it was nice to see other people that had been in the show and just get to do the song with them.
you might as well be saying you think that it's okay, and that's not right. And if it's not right, you have to put it right.
So my singing teacher wrote a song, and then he contacted me and just said, would you like to sing on it? And I of course said yes.
Not a snowflake in the sky, it's like a mince without the pie. I feel so blue, there's no Christmas day without you.
And then, so it was all the money that was raised from it was going to Age UK, to help those, like the elderly people who are on their own, like because of lockdown or just because of their situation. So we recorded that last November, I think, and yeah, we just put the song out to raise some money for that charity. It was over the course of like 5 weeks, I think, altogether. So I went the first week and it was kind of like an open call kind of audition. There were loads of people there over the whole day, and you just had to prepare like a verse and a chorus of a song and a short monologue. So I sang Half the World Away by Aurora, and I can't remember what my monologue was, but yeah, I did one. And then after that they just called us back to do like songs from the show and some acting scenes, and then a few weeks later we learnt dances, and then on the last week there were only like 5 or 6 of us left, and then 2 weeks later we got a phone call to say if we got it or not. I think just be yourself, really, because they're looking for people who stand out and not the people who just like are the same as everybody else. So I think be yourself, just be confident in what you're talking about, or if they ask you to talk about yourself, like go into detail with your answers. Don't just say like one word answers, because they just want to know as much about you as they can. And yeah, just be confident, really. So I go to Copper Studios most days of the week. That's where I do most of my like dancing and singing training, and then I do the television workshop for like mainly acting. It's really fun. It feels just like a big family there. I train there 3 days a week, I think. I go on a Tuesday, a Thursday and a Saturday. I definitely say to try and get an agent, because they are really useful and really important, because they can get jobs that specifically suit you. But just go for everything you can. Try and get into other dance schools or drama schools, and just like every opportunity that comes your way, take it, because it can be really useful. So the top one is for 13, which I did with Copper, I think in 2019. And then that one's obviously for Matilda, and it's signed by all of the adult cast, and I got that on my last show. And then those two are just like Matilda based things. Oh, and that one. And then that one is for Annie, which I did when I was 7. I think at the time when I did Annie, Molly was quite similar to me. She was quite confident, which was what I was like when I was little. And I'd say that there's some of Matilda and Patrice in me. They were both quite similar characters, like strong and confident, and I think there's some of them in me. I'd love to be in Waitress when I'm older, but I know that that's like closed down in the West End now, so hopefully it'll come back. And I'd also love to be in Mean Girls, any part in Mean Girls. I think it's a great musical. We're doing Cats at Copper, and I think we're doing that in July, hopefully, if we can, if theatres can reopen again by then. I'd love to go and see another show in the West End as soon as I can, because there's loads of shows that I want to see, like Dear Evan Hansen. I haven't seen that yet, and I really want to see it. And yeah, just get back into a theatre again. I love the atmosphere in a theatre, and I just want to get back.
Have you ever wondered,
I got another like experience for Christmas, so once that's reopened I'm going to try and get back in the studio again to do that. I'm not sure what songs yet, I need to think of some, so if anybody has any suggestions then send them my way, but yeah, I'm thinking of them definitely. Growing up I always looked up to Emma Watson. I think that she was just like the biggest role model for me when I was growing up. And yeah, she, like when she was performing when she was young, that kind of just really inspired me to get going yeah, and then the people that I watched in Matilda really inspired me as well, because they were the ones that made me want to do it. So I'd love to be a performer as like a professional career. I think that would be amazing. And I'd also like to start my own like dance school or like performing arts school, because I think that would be really fun to do.
Nobody but me is gonna change my story. Sometimes you have to be a little bit naughty.
Um, 8 times? Eric? Quentin Blake? 91? In Stratford upon Avon.